Hello folks, and welcome back to the channel. So this week has actually been my birthday, and I was very lucky to get lots of books, some graphic novels and some money and some vouchers. I'm going to show you what I bought with the money and vouchers, and also what my partner bought me and my friends bought me. So yeah, and then at the end of this video I'm just going to talk about what I'm currently reading as well. So let's start by what my wonderful partner bought me. So she knows me so well. So she actually started off with a graphic novel, The Road. Now I've just downloaded this onto... Why are you not focusing? Focus. There we go, we're back in focus. So I have just downloaded this on Kindle, the actual book, which was 99p. Which hopefully I'm going to read in the next few weeks. But also, I really wanted to read it as a graphic novel. So this has been on my TBR for a long time as a graphic novel. There isn't actually much words in this graphic novel, I don't think, compared to some of them that I've read. So I think I'm going to have to read the book first and then read this. But I am really looking forward to reading that one. She then went on to buy me, I'm surrounded by books here. We all know my relationship with Stephen King, so I thought I'd try, I've wanted to try some of his stuff that is more popular, because I think the last ones that I've really read are either the first book that he released or an unpopular book. So she bought me Salem's Lot. Now I've never read a book about vampires really, so I'm actually really looking forward to this, and I'm hoping it's going to live up to the expectations of what everyone says on YouTube and TikTok. It's a nice thick book, and these new Stephen King books, I really love the covers on them, so you know, they look nice on a bookshelf when I eventually get a bookshelf. So that is hopefully going to be one of probably my April reads, and I'll tell you why it will be an April read next. But yeah, so that was the second book she bought me. And of course, we all know that I'm currently reading this series, and that is the Dune series. And this is the third book in the series that she bought me, and it is Children of Dune. Again, I love these covers, and I'm actually collecting these covers ones. I won't buy the Dune books unless it's these covers, and because I just think they all look great. And I think this is the best one I've seen so far. I'm loving this orange with the black shadowing. It's just a fantastic visual front cover, and I'm looking forward to reading this one as well. She also bought me now we've just recently watched the film Rebel Moon, and I did not know that actually come as a graphic novel as well, so this is the first one. I haven't read it yet, so this is probably going to be one of the next ones that I read, graphic novel wise. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this one as well. It's, you know, I loved the film, and again I just love the art. Graphic novels are just great. They just really do stand out to me, so I'm looking forward to this one as well. And then also she got me just before my birthday, actually. She was in a local charity shop, and I've wanted to read these for a little while, graphic novel wise, and that is Heartstoppers. So this was actually £1 in a charity shop, so again, this one I am quite looking forward to reading. I've seen the Netflix series. I don't think I've quite caught up with it, but yeah, so this has been on my bucket list for a little while, and she was lucky enough to find the first one in the charity shop for £1. So yeah, so that's what my wonderful partner bought me. So now I'm going to move on to, where should we go next? Let's go to what my best friend did for me. So she actually did me sort of like a bouquet of books, and I'll put the picture up of what she did. Had lots of chocolate. The chocolate's gone. I think I ate that within 24 hours. But the books, however, she knows that I am a massive Ken Follett fan, so she found these two books for me, Ken Follett, and they're not part of series. I think they're standalones, and I think this one is not so much historical fiction, but a thriller book. So I'm actually looking forward, because I've never read one of his thriller books before. I'm not too sure what this one is, and I think One Spy, Three Opinions, One Impossible Mission. whatever it is, it sounds like it's up my street, so I'm looking forward to reading that as well. Like I said, they're standalones. I'm currently in the middle of his Century trilogy, and it was the first 5-star book that I gave of 2025. So yeah, so these are definitely going on a high priority on my list. But I say that all books go high priority on my list, and I'm more of a mood reader, so it depends what I'm in the mood for. So, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to these two. Next she bought me, now this next author is an author that I used to read quite a lot years ago, and he's probably got me back into reading. I haven't read him for years, and that is Clive Cussler. I love all of his books. These are ones that I haven't read. I really like the Isaac Bauer Adventures, just their settings. Definitely not read this, but I would go back and read all of the rest of the Isaac Bauer series because I think they're great. But what I love about these books is that you don't have to read them in order. My OCD probably makes me read them in order. And then this one is the Numa Files, and again, I just love his characters and his story. There is a bit of history in them, and that's probably why I love them, but there's a more adventure and thriller and saving the world in them. So yeah, these were the next two she bought me. Two, that's upside down, 2 hardback books. So again, you know, adding to my list of TBR that's ever getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Next up is, I see him a lot, and I think I've listened to one of his audiobooks a few years ago, but I've not actually read any of the Andy McNab books. This is called A State of Emergency. I think it's going to be a thriller, that sort of thing. Set in London by the looks of it. Yep, set in London. And again, these books, I think with these sort of books, I call them filler books because you can just go through them so much and so quick. So this will be when I'm looking for to feel something, feel a hole, when I'm not in the right mood for, you know, historical fiction that I really need to think about. So this is probably going to be one of those. Next she bought me, and she actually bought me one of these a few weeks ago as well, and I think I've got 4 of Frida McFadden's books now, and I haven't actually started one. This is the latest one that she bought me, called The Co-Worker. She is obviously the author of The Housemaid and The Housemaid is Watching. I do have those both on my bookshelf, which is on my TBR, and now I've added this one. And she did buy me another one, which is actually my parents' house, that I want to read as well. I can't remember what that one was called though, but yeah, that is definitely on my TBR as well. Next up, now again, I see him everywhere, but I have not read any of his books, and that is Peter's May, and this is called Cast Iron. I don't even know what it's about. Let's read the back, shall we? The Girl in the Lake. In 1989, the year I was born, a killer dumped the body of 20-year-old Lucy Martin into a picturesque lake in the west of France. 14 years later, during a summer heat wave, a drought exposes her remains. So it's going to be sort of like a murder mystery, right? The man on the case, no one was ever convicted of her murder, but now forensic expert Enzo McLaughlin is reviewing this stone cold case, the toughest of those he has been challenged to solve. The skeleton in the closet. Yet when Enzo finds a flaw in the original evidence surrounding Lucy's murder, he opens a dangerous Pandora's box, placing him and his entire family in peril. That sounds really good, actually. Again, that's probably going to be a filler book that I put in between when maybe I've got a reading slum or something, but he sounds quite good, so I do like the sound of that. But again, I've not given him a read before, so that was the next one. Now this book I have actually read. I do have mixed reviews about it, and I know some of you are going to have mixed reviews about this author, and because of her political and her views on certain things, and that is J.K. Rowling's The Casual Vacancy. I did read this last year on the 52 book week challenge, and I didn't know what to make of it. I just didn't know what to expect, so maybe I might go back through and read it again. If you've read this book, let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. So yeah, tell me what you thought of this J.K. Rowling book. And finally, she bought me Cheetah by Karen Rose. Again, I've not read any of these books. I guess it's another murder book, which I haven't read a murder book for ages. So yeah, homicide detective Kit McKittrick stands over a dead body. Yeah, definitely a murder book. So yeah, these are books that I'm definitely going to have to read. What was the last murder book I read? Oh, I can't think now. It must have been last year. Oh, what was it called? I don't know, but it was in the 52 book week challenge. What was it? The Killing Fields, the Bone Killing Field. Oh, I can't remember. Go back and watch that video. I'll link it up here, and that'll be the last murder book that I actually read. So yeah, next I'm going to move on to what some people from work bought me. So this book I am actually currently reading, The Woman. I didn't know what to think of the first third of this book. Obviously that was the bit that was set in Vietnam. I found it a bit same, but now she's actually left Vietnam and she's readjusting to life in America, and with all the hatred that's going on towards the Vietnam War and the veterans that are over there, I'm starting to enjoy it. I love how Kristen Hanna actually talks about PTSD. Is that the right word? Yeah. In this book, I think how she portrays it in this character and how it comes across is fantastic. I haven't finished it. Hopefully, I'm going to finish it today or tomorrow. But yeah, this is a fantastic book. I actually preferred The Nightingale, but I definitely, it's an author that I would say to anyone to read. She brings characters to life. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing this book. And then this was the second book they bought me. It's Lucy Score's Story of My Life. She's got troubles written all over her. Okay, again, I don't know what this is. It's going to be a romantasy book, which I did. The last romantasy book that I read last month was really good. So yeah, give this a go. Hey, see what it says, what the blurb on the back says. Hazel is given a 1-2 punch when she's forced to move out of her Upper East Side apartment and is given a final warning from her publisher. If she doesn't turn in a book by her next deadline, they're cutting her loose. Hazel rashly decides to leave what's left of her city life behind, and impulse buys a house in rural Pennsylvania. Sight unseen, how better to entertain the loyal readers she still has and rediscover her writing mojo than by immersing herself in small town life. Too bad this town looks to be on its last legs. At least she's finding swollen worth inspiration from her hot, grumpy contractor. Okay, yeah, it's definitely a romance. Cam and his animal rescuing community involving family. It's all just research. What could go wrong? Yeah, it's a love story. Again, it was quite a thick book actually. I've never read this author before, but I will be putting this onto my TBR list at some point. And then this book, which I think was a bit of a joke book to be honest. It's actually not a reading book as such. It is called Where's Willie? Have You Spotted Dick? I know this was meant as a joke book, but I want to tell you something. It's really hard. I haven't actually spotted Where's Willie. So I've tried the first one, so you've got to spot these 3 characters here. But it's just really hard, so I'm going to give this a go with my partner again later on today, but I still haven't spotted any of them. So, and there are lots of different scenes. It's a bit like Where's Wally, but an adult version. So yeah, so I'm going to give that one a go. Next up, we are off to... Wait for the door to slam. We are off to... My mum gave me a voucher for Waterstones and my nan gave me some money. So the money I spent in WH Smith's, and I had to buy... This is from the 3 for 2 offer in WH Smith's. Stephen King's It. God, look how thick that book is. How many pages is this book? Oh. Over 1,000. Oh, how many pages is that? 1,067. Woo! oh, that's a chunker of a book. But this is supposed to be one of his best reads. Obviously, I know who it is. I have seen the film. I've not seen the newer version, which I probably should watch. The older version I watched years and years ago, so I can't actually remember what happens in this book. But I really am looking forward to this Stephen King book. Again, I love the covers and I love the side. Like, where's that book gone? They're gonna look really good on a bookshelf next to each other like that. And I also bought The Shining, which is obviously a famous film as well. Look at all three of those together. Look, oh, they're gonna look beautiful. Yeah, so I've seen this film, and again, it's supposed to be one of his good books. So I'm hoping these 3 books from Stephen King is going to be what I fall in love with for Stephen King. Obviously, they're horror stories. I haven't read a lot of horror stories really, but yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this book as well. And probably Salem's Lot. What's the other book that I really wanted? Pet Sematary. Yeah, so hopefully at some point I will get Pet Cemetery. But there's loads of books by Stephen King that I want to read that are supposed to be good, so hopefully these 3 books will make me fall in love with Stephen King. The final book I got in W.H. Smith's was Empire of the Vampire. So everyone raves about this. If you're a fantasy book person everyone's raving about this on TikTok. Obviously the second book come out in January. I am a little bit behind and just getting into the flow of things. So yes, this is the Empire of the Vampire. Again, I've never read really any vampire books. I really want to read Dracula, so I've got this one and Salem's Lot, which are both vampire books. So I'm jumping on to see what this one's like. I know I'm behind the times on it, but yeah, I'm jumping on to see what that one is like. And then finally I went to Waterstones, and a book that I have been looking for a while, and I thought I was going to have to buy it online because I've never seen it in a shop before, and that is Battle Royale. So this is probably a gruesome version of The Hunger Games, from what I've heard. It's another thick book. Oh, bought lots of thick books really. And my TBR is so big. Why did I do that? Anyway, so this I didn't think I was going to find in Waterstones, but I did. It's a Japanese version of The Hunger Games, but more gruesome. This is actually a graphic novel as well, which I will read. I always like to read the books first before I read the graphic novel. So this will be hopefully a graphic novel. I think there's 4 of them. It's a series of 4 that I will buy at some point, but I am now on a book buying ban. So yeah, so that was one of the books I got. The next book that I got, 2 books were buy one get one half price, and that is The Wizard of the Gremlin. Looking forward to this with everything that's going on in the news at the minute. This basically, it's sweeping from the fall of the Soviet Union to the invasion of Ukraine. This breathless story of politics and powers has become an international sensation. I'm looking forward to this. It is written, I think he's an Italian author, so I'll be obviously reading it under that category because I'm trying to read books that have been translated, so hopefully going to read 12 this year. So that's actually why I bought it, but it is sort of like what I'm really into, and I think it's, you know, finding probably a bit more out about Russia. I know it's a story, but I just think it's what we're all talking about in a minute. Next, again, I've bought a whole lot of historical fiction as well here really recently. Next is Glorious Exploits. This is winner of the Waterstones debut fiction prize. It is, I think it's set in ancient Greece. Yep. Again, someone that I follow on YouTube, 2 brothers, and they said this was their best book read of 2024, and that is actually why I bought it. Nice short book, so set in Greece, and I think it's going to be about politics and stuff like that again, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. Also, the same people that the reason I bought that, I bought The Wolf Den, the first book in the trilogy. This is set in a brothel in Pompeii, ancient Rome. And I think it's going to talk about the politics of what's going on in Rome as well, through the eyes of someone that works in the brothel. And yeah, it's the first in a trilogy, so I'm going to see how this goes. Again, it's had fantastic reviews, so this is the first one. I'm going to see how we get on with that one. Finally, I just want to talk to you about what I'm currently reading, what I'm going to be reading next, and why. So I've obviously told you that I'm reading The Woman at the minute. I like to read 2 different books at the same time depending on what mood I'm in, and I have nearly finished the Mockingjay series, which is the last in the Hunger Games, which I have read these books before, but I think I got halfway through this one, and because I read them one after the other I just wasn't really into it, so I DNF'd it. So I'm going to hopefully finish that soon, and then probably my next book is going to be The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I did start watching this film and found the film very boring, so I'm hoping the book's going to be a lot better. And the reason I'm reading these 2 books is because obviously on the 18th of March, the new book by Susan Collins, which will be Hamish's story, is coming out. So I'm trying to catch up so that hopefully I can buy that book and read that, and then hopefully I'll talk to you guys about it. So let me know what your recent book haul has been and what books you've got. Put it in the comments below. And yeah, I'm now on a book buying ban, so I've got a lot to read really. So guess what, that's what I'm going to go and do now. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like the video, and if you want to see more from me, please hit that subscribe button. Thanks, bye.